If you're looking for something different, something fresh within the witch category, then this Lich Witch Electrocution bonk build will certainly be up your alley. That being said, let's get started. So before we get into the nitty-gritty pertaining to the skills of the build, I just wanted to provide a brief overview of what the build offers and why it can be fun to use in the end game. So essentially, it's all about looping electrocution into stun and utilizing that to clear mobs as well as bosses. And this can be great for those who are new to Path of Exile, who just want to build to get through campaign fast. And also endgame is great because it has enough power to sustain you and clear out harder mobs and difficult bosses. So now with regards to skills, we have Rolling Slam. This is the main weapon that we'll be using, or at least the main attack that we'll be utilizing. And we have Fist of War, Lightning Infusion, and Magnified Effect. Of course, with infusing your attacks with lightning, this ensures that we can constantly shock, build up enough electrocution, and then utilize stunning along the way, which moves us to Bone Shatter. Bone Shatter is the follow-up to Rolling Slam, and we have Heft, Impact Shockwave, and Energy Barrier. So this is great alongside Rolling Slam because once we do Electrocute, as I mentioned before, we can do more damage, and then as the stun meter builds up, we can Bone Shatter them, stun them again, and then it's just a constant loop where the enemy just can't move. Supercharged Slam is just extra utility. This is good for just applying additional damage on bosses or trying to clear mobs that are pressuring you. And we're rocking with Unbreakable, Heavy Swing, and Aftershock. Next up is Lightning Warp, another AoE crowd control ability. We have Life Drain, Despoiler, and Lightning Penetration. This is also good too if you want to kind of get yourself out of sticky situations. If you're being bombarded by too many enemies, Lightning Warp can be great to escape from harm. And then next we have Overwhelming Presence. This is good just because it allows us to apply stun and ailments. It just makes it easier to do both, which is great. Then we have Despair, and we're rocking with Resistance, Decaying Hex, and Focused Curse. Now, this build also does apply chaos damage, which I'll get into very soon, but essentially you're going to be utilizing electrocution, stun, and chaos damage to just do damage over time. And so while enemies are stunned, you can apply your Decaying Hex to just make it easier for you to eliminate enemies quicker. And then Blasphemy, we have Conductivity, we have Enfeeble, and then we have Vitality. Enfeeble is good, as you already know. It's great for just nerfing the enemy's damage. That gives you the advantage to do more damage to them. And then of course, Conductivity, lowering the resistances of the enemies is always good. Then this is what really adds more shock value to the build, and that is Herald of Thunder. And we have Concentrated Effect, Maim, and Elemental Focus. This just ensures that while we are shocking enemies, while we're clearing adds, it's easier for us to just get through mobs and deal damage to bosses as well. Then Contagion kind of works well with the likes of Despair, where we're applying Contagion, we apply Despair, and we have Arcane Tempo, Profanity, as well as Hinder. So this way, if you're having trouble with clearing adds, because Rolling Slam can be a bit slow at times, and you may run into enemies that may want to stun you, and it is quite easy to get stunned in the end game. So Contagion is great if you just want to kite back and allow the chaos over time to just deal that damage for you, weaken enemies, and then you can finish them off with something like, let's say Lightning Warp, for example. And then lastly, we have Hammer of the Gods. Now this is again another bonus utility. This is good for bosses because when you do heavy stun them with Bone Shatter, you can follow up with Hammer of the Gods, and we currently have Brink and Exploit Weakness. And that's pretty much it. That's really the build in a nutshell, nothing too crazy. Again, I try to make my build straightforward, simple, and easy to understand. And once you get the hang of it, it really is very fun to utilize in the end game, and as I mentioned before, with campaign. So that being said, let's move on to the skill trees. For the Lich Ascendancy nodes, you want to focus on the 4 main components, which is Life, Soulless Form, Mana, and Necromantic Conduit. These 4 really work well together as it really provides infinite value for your mana, and therefore you can take advantage of things like Unholy Might, which gives you a massive buff to your chaos damage, and that's pretty much how the build functions. You have Electrocute, you've got Unholy Might for chaos damage, and so all the nodes you want to be focusing on would be things like chaos damage, having some additional energy shield, some cast speed is always great, some additional intelligence, and the benefit with running Witch is that these nodes are much easier to obtain, so you can rock with things like lightning damage, and then you can go into things like the warrior side, where you have more of a tankier melee driven appeal, where you have melee damage, you can rock more armor, you can get more life regen, stun threshold. So these are really good nodes to look out for. This one, Smash, is really good for that increased melee damage against heavily stunned enemies, which goes right into Rolling Slam, goes into our Supercharged Slam. All this is really good. Then of course, if you're able to find nodes with more lightning damage and shock duration, that's always wonderful. Then we move all the way down here. Regarding jewels, look for things like crit damage, elemental damage, herald damage increase. Then of course, electrocute buildup. Look for nodes with electrocute. Those are always great. And then lastly, we have things where we're doing more attack damage to rare and unique enemies. So bosses, all that good stuff. Make sure you have this node or all these nodes activated as well. And that's pretty much it. Again, I try to keep things simple. I didn't want to overcomplicate things too much. I just wanted to ensure that you have 3 things to focus on, that being chaos damage, lightning damage, and then electrocute. Or I guess you can say electrocute / stun. And that's it. So if you want to build more into this, just look for those particular sections. And then as you build more into endgame, it should sustain you for the long term. So that being said, let's move on to the weapons and equipment. Before I continue, I just want to give a quick shout out to the folks over at Advanced GG who provide some amazing supplements for those who are looking to boost their game in-game with some really delicious flavors. Over on the website, you can check out, they have a plethora of options. Whether you want to stay focused, they've got that covered. You want some boost in energy, they got that covered too. Or maybe you just need some extra rest from all the grinding and PoE 2. They've got some sleep supplements as well to help you get to bed nice and early. All of that you can utilize on their website. They've got shakers as well if you're into that. And you can use my code NEWENERGY10 at checkout to save yourself 10% on your next purchase. So that being said, let's get back into the video. Since this build primarily revolves around electrocution, the Brain Rattler Studded Great Club was the best pick for this build. And that's because all damage with this weapon causes electrocution buildup. And that's really fantastic alongside the additional lightning damage you get and the increased attack speed. That's always a benefit, always a great bonus to have more attack speed, especially in the end game. And then we match that with the Valakos Vice Plague Gauntlets, which I made a video review on. So if you want to check it out, the link will be in the description. And of course, you can click the little button above this video to check it out too. But the reason why I chose this is because it gives you a huge ton of resistance to lightning, but also the more notable one is 100% of your fire damage is converted to lightning damage, which means that if you have any particular attributes, let's say on your rings or other parts of your equipment, if it has fire damage, all of that will be converted into lightning damage, which is pretty cool. And then we have Wake of Destruction Secured Leggings. I'm not focusing too much on the movement speed, although if you wanted to build into that, it's up to you. The reason why I chose these boots is because of the shocked ground. This ensures that I can always consistently apply shock and then build into that shock duration via my skill tree nodes. And then you also have the increased value of armor, energy shields, more lightning damage, always great to have. With regards to your rings and everything else, your belt, just look out for things like more energy shields, more mana, some accuracy, look for some spirit. Disenfolding Dawn Pilgrim Vestments is a good example. I was pretty dumb. I corrupted it far too early when I shouldn't have, but I chose this because of the 100 spirit, but also the plus 12 to resistances to all elements. And don't worry too much about the no inherent bonus from intelligence. You can always build in some mana, as I said, through your nodes as well as your additional rings and amulets. So things like resistances are great, accuracy is great, lightning damage is fantastic, physical damage to attacks is great, leeching is always good. And then with regards to the belt, look for more flash charges, more flash life recovery rate. If you can get some extra armor, great. The charm slots aren't that important, but if you can get a couple, great, it'll help you. And then look for flasks that have things like gains point number per second. Normally I look for anything that's above 0.2, so 0.20 or 0.25 is something you can always utilize. And that's pretty much it. If you can build into that and just apply your Electrocute consistently, I don't think you'll have any problems in the end game. Just continue to build into, as I mentioned earlier, lightning damage, more stun duration, shock duration, Electrocute build up, and you should be good to go. So that being said, if you enjoyed the content and you made it this far in the video, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Like, comment, and subscribe for more PoE 2 content alongside all other action RPGs coming out soon. That being said, new warriors, stay strong, keep fighting, and may the force be with you all always. Take care and see you on the next one.